The thing that stopped me cold was a locked summer kitchen full of dusty children's toys, hidden away behind a latch and old peeling paint everywhere. We'd been house hunting for months when we found this old farmhouse on a back road, the kind with a gravel drive and trees hanging low. It looked peaceful, but right away, that sealed-up summer kitchen out back caught my eye. Realtor shrugged it off as storage space. We bought it anyway, figuring we'd fix it up slow. Moved in spring, boxes everywhere. My wife Sarah, she loves old places, says they got character. Me, I wanted quiet after city noise. The main house was fine. Big kitchen with a stove that heated uneven. Our dog, Buddy, he'd chase his tail in circles on the wood floors, nails clicking loud. Made me laugh at first. Few weeks in, we decided to open that summer kitchen. Door was latched tight, paint chipped. I got a crowbar from the shed, rusty thing I found buried in weeds. Pried it open with a creak that echoed. Dust poured out, made us cough. Inside, dark and musty. Flipped the light. Bare bulb flickered on. Shelves lined walls, stacked with junk. But then I saw them. Toys. Dozens. Little cars, dolls with matted hair, a stuffed bear missing an eye. All covered in thick gray dust, like forgotten for years. Sarah picked up a blanket from the floor. Small, blue, with faded stars. Kid stuff, she said quiet. Why sealed up? I shrugged, felt a chill but blamed the draft. On a high shelf, a photo album, leather cracked. We took it inside, wiped it clean over coffee. Pages full of pictures, smiling family, mom, dad, little boy, maybe 5. I couldn't stop looking at those pictures. They kept pulling at my mind. Picnics, holidays, normal stuff. Handwriting on backs. Tommy's first bike, June 82. Dates went up to midsummer 83, then stopped. Weird, right? I flipped through again. Faces happy, but something about the house in backgrounds looked like ours, same stone wall out front. Sarah got curious, called the county clerk next day while I mowed the lawn. Grass tall, mower sputtered twice. Clerk said no records of that family owning it. But she dug into old files, microfiche stuff. Found a missing persons report from 83. Family of 3 vanished. Names matched the album notes. Harlan, Mary, Tommy Reed. Heart raced a bit hearing that. Sarah hung up pale. They just left? Neighbors down the lane, old couple we'd waved to. We asked them casual over fence one afternoon. I was fixing a loose post, hammer slipping in my hand. They nodded slow. Yeah, the Reeds. Nice folks. Left sudden one night. Truck packed, gone by morning. Didn't say more, changed subject to weather. That night, lying in bed, I heard creaks. Old house settling, I told myself. Buddy whined at the door, ears perked. Sarah slept fitful. But okay, we did. Cop came out, young guy with a notepad. Looked through the album, the toys we left in place. Cold case, he said. That night I whispered the boy's name to empty rooms like it might answer. Owner back then questioned, but no proof. Landlord at the time, guy named Ellis, had arguments with them over rent. Family complained about him lurking. Then poof, gone. He took photos, said they'd reopen the file. We nodded, but house felt different after. I started noticing small things, like walking Buddy at dusk. I'd see shadows by that stone wall, probably trees, but made me hurry back. Sarah found an old key in the attic while unpacking Christmas lights early. Didn't fit any door. Threw it out, but I fished it later. Kept it in a drawer. Days blurred. We'd hear knocks sometimes, faint from out back. Blamed wind. One evening, cooking burgers, grill smoked too much. I swore I heard a kid's laugh outside. Stopped cold, listened. Nothing. Sarah said I imagined. Neighbors watched us cautiously after that, like we'd poked at something sleeping. She started locking doors early, even daytime. Went to town library, old building with squeaky chairs. Looked up newspapers on microfilm. Articles from 83, Family missing, foul play suspected. Neighbors quoted saying they heard yelling nights before. Ellis, the landlord, alibi from a bar. Case stalled. No bodies, no clues. One line stuck. Summer kitchen unchecked, sealed per owner's request. Back home, heart heavy, told Sarah over dinner. Pasta boiled over, made a mess. She got quiet. That night, storm hit. Rain pounded roof, power flickered. I got up for water, hallway dark, past the window, saw a shape outside by the summer kitchen. Tall, still. Lightning flashed. Gone. Told myself eyes playing tricks. Next morning, we checked out back. Door still latched, but footprints in mud, fresh, leading away. Called the cop again. He came. Looked. Could be kids messing. But took casts. Said the file showed Ellis died years ago but had a son in town. Quiet type, kept to himself. Unease grew. Sarah dreamed of the boy, Tommy. Woke crying once. I started sleeping bad. Jumping at Buddy. Matched ones inside. How? Shoved it in pocket. Didn't tell Sarah. Police called back. Said they searched records deeper. Family had filed complaints. Ellis harassing, peeking in windows. Night they vanished. Witness saw his truck nearby, but no arrest. Town folks knew, but stayed silent. Small place, cop said. People protect their own. House turned tense. We'd argue small, over dishes left out, lights on. One night, alone while Sarah visited her mom, drove off hesitant. I heard scratching from the summer kitchen. Grabbed flashlight, went out stupid brave. Door ajar now, pushed in slow. Toys shifted, like moved. Album open on floor, to a page with Tommy alone, smiling. Wind, but no breeze. Back inside, locked up tight. Phone rang, unknown. Answered shaky, static, then faint voice. Where's Tommy? Hung up fast. No sleep after. Climax hit next week. Cops turned the place into a scene. Tape up, digging. Found bones under the summer kitchen floor. Small, child's maybe. Tests pending. Town buzzed. But folks avoided us. Sometimes I found myself tracing the dust patterns on toys, imagining small fingerprints, and wanting to know who last held them and why they never came back. Ellis's son questioned. Denied, but had old keys. We moved to a motel temporary, room with thin curtains. Reflected nights, wondering, why seal it? Who called? Bones real, case open still. House holds secrets, erased by time. Town's silence let it rot. I check shadows now. Hear knocks in quiet. Never ends. Months after we left that farmhouse, the nightmares didn't stop, creeping in like fog on the fields back there. We'd rented a tiny condo in the next county. Walls so thin I could hear the upstairs kid practicing violin off-key every evening. Thought a fresh start would bury it all, but little things kept digging it up. Settled in quick, but unpacking felt wrong. Sarah found an old doll in one box. Porcelain face cracked, dress faded. Where'd this come from? She asked, voice shaky. I stared. Looked like one from the summer kitchen. Must have packed by mistake. Threw it out with the recycling, but the bin smelled sour next morning like wet dirt. Brushed it off, went to work. New job at a hardware store, stacking shelves. Hands calloused now, nails dirty. Detective called a week later. Bones were human, child's, matched Tommy's age. DNA pending, but signs of foul play. Ellis's son, Frank, arrested for tampering. Denied killing, but admitted sealing the kitchen years ago on Dad's orders. Just storage, he said in interrogation transcripts they shared. Town paper ran a story. Front page, blurry photo of our old house. Neighbors we'd never met glared at us in the grocery store, like we stirred trouble. That night, power dipped during dinner. Spaghetti sauce splattered when I jerked. Heard a faint knock from the balcony. Sarah froze mid-bite. Probably wind, I muttered. Checked anyway. Flashlight beam cutting dark. Nothing. But next morning, envelope on the mat, no stamp. Inside a faded note. You opened what shouldn't. Handwriting like the albums. Heart thumped hard. Called detective hesitant. He sighed. Prank maybe. Town stirred. Sarah started sleeping with lights on. Our microwave hummed weird at night, like whispering. I'd get up, unplug it. One afternoon, walking home from shift, boots scuffed on sidewalk. I felt watched. Turned, saw a truck slow, old model like Ellis's from articles. Driver stared, then sped off. License blurred in my mind. Told Sarah over coffee. She spilled hers, hand trembling. We should move again. Ignored it first. But knocks came back. Soft, from walls now. Buddy, our dog, growled low, fur up. He used to nap by the window back at the farmhouse, chasing squirrels in dreams. Here he paced. We searched the condo, nothing. Then, in the closet, behind coats, a small toy car. Same as the one I found buried. How? Sarah whispered. I pocketed it, irrational, like evidence. Detective updated. Frank confessed more. Dad argued with Reeds over money, threats exchanged. Night they vanished. Ellis went over to talk. Came back bloody, sealed kitchen next day. Hid the boy, Frank said. Mom and Dad dumped elsewhere, never found. Town knew whispers, but silence ruled. Family business, folks said. Case reopened old wounds. More tips came in. One anonymous. Checked the wall. Our stone wall, but we weren't there. Drove back one weekend, stupid curious. House taped off, grass overgrown. Parked far, walked sneaky. Wall looked same, mossy. Poked around. Found loose stone. Pulled it. Cavity inside. Old envelope, yellowed. Photos. Reeds arguing with Ellis, timestamp 83. Note. Help us. Shivered, but pocketed. Wind picked up. Leaves swirling like warnings. Back at condo showed detective photos. He nodded grim. New evidence. Wall unchecked before. Frank denied hiding it. Who put there? Town silence thicker now. Old timers clammed up. Sarah dreamed of Tommy knocking. Woke screaming once. I held her, but sleep fled. Things worsened fast. Got a call at work, unknown. Picked up wary, breathing heavy, then kid's voice. Why'd you leave me? Click. Froze by the paint aisle. Boss asked if okay. Lied yes. Home, told Sarah. She cried quiet. That evening, cooking eggs, pan sizzled uneven, balcony door creaked open. Locked it earlier. Outside, footprints in dew, small, child-sized. Buddy barked mad, called cops local. They checked, shrugged. Kids playing. But we knew. Next day, another envelope under door. Map scrap, our old farmhouse marked, with X by kitchen. Note. Finish it. Panicked, we packed bags. Stayed at a motel, dingy, with a vending machine that clunked loud. Room had a musty rug, stains faint, slept fitful. Woke to scratching under bed, flipped light, nothing. Sarah whispered, hear that? Yeah, like nails on wood. Morning, detective met us at diner, booth sticky. Said Frank escaped custody night before. Dangerous, stay low, stomach knotted. Frank obsessed, blamed us for exposing. Drove to a friend's cabin farther out. Dirt road bumpy, place creaked like the farmhouse, wind through pines. Buddy settled uneasy. First night, quiet. Then knocks, rhythmic, from attic. Climbed ladder, shaky, dust thick, boxes old, one open, album pages scattered. Our album, how? Photos of Tommy, but one new. Us at the house, recent. Backed down fast. Sarah freaked. He's following. Called detective, signal spotty. He said Frank spotted nearby. Hide. We barred doors. Rain started, pounding roof. Thunder rolled. Heard footsteps outside. Slow crunch on gravel. Peered through curtain, shadow by trees. Tall, like Frank. Grabbed a poker from fireplace. Stay back, I yelled inside. Footsteps closer. Door rattled. Sarah dialed 911 whispering. Shadow paused. Then window smash, glass flying. Arm reached in, swung poker wild, hit flesh, grunt. Cops' sirens wailed distant. They arrived, lights flashing. Frank on ground, bleeding arm. Cuffed him raving. They took my secret. Searched his truck. Tools, ropes, more photos. Said he watched us since we moved in. Planted stuff to scare. The calls? Him, mimicking voices, but the kid's voice, he denied. Not me, he swore. Tests came. Bones confirmed Tommy. Mom and Dad found later, shallow graves nearby. Ellis killed them, rage over debts. Town admitted knowing suspicions, but fear kept quiet. He had pull, one said finally. We sold the condo, moved states. New apartment bland, but safe. Floors squeak when the AC kicks on, like footsteps almost. Sarah smiles more but jumps at knocks. Me? I hear that kid's voice in wind sometimes. Was it Frank? Or something else? Secrets don't die easy. Town's indifference let it fester. Wonder who else knows, silent still. Check locks nightly, shadows linger. Time pulled at us in small ways after that. The detective closed his file months later with an official report and a terse note. Community pressure had finally unearthed threats and confessions, but not everyone's conscience was healed. We went to the small memorial they organized. Neighbors who had once looked away stood with hands folded, faces raw and tired. Sarah laid the faded blanket on the stone marker and whispered Tommy's name, as if a breath could reach back and right the wrongs. The hauntings eased, the knocks faded, the anonymous calls stopped, and Buddy slept through nights without jerking awake. Comfort was tentative. On quiet afternoons, I still checked corners, fingers tracing worn places where a small hand might have rested. Once, while unpacking a box we had missed, I found another toy car tucked behind a crate. Its paint flaked, its wheels stiff. I cleaned it and set it on the windowsill like an offering. That small ritual felt like penance and acknowledgement both. Months folded into a year. Sarah laughed more freely. I planted sunflowers because Tommy's photos had so many blooms. When the flowers rose tall and bright, they felt like stubborn proof that light can push through. We started making plans that weren't about leaving. Weekend trips, a new fence, Buddy's vet appointment. Still, sometimes at dusk, when the air thins and the day leans toward evening, I hear a single distant knock inside my chest. I answer now not with panic, but with a quiet, terrible hope. Tommy? The sound never comes back whole. Still, I leave a light on a little longer each night and let the flowers stand as witness. We keep living, but we never forget him, never.